So today's episode is so crazy important that I really need you to tune in and know this information could actually save your life. There's a very scary reality that so many teens and young people are experiencing online called online predators, and they're real, and you could be their target. So this episode is for teens, young adults, and parents. Okay, so imagine this. You get a friend request from someone your age, maybe even someone you know. Same school colors in their bio, a familiar face in their profile, and you start chatting and it feels normal. But then here's the truth. That person may not even exist, or that person may be a middle-aged man that has really bad intentions.
It can be so scary. There are so many different tactics to be aware of that these predators can use to contact you. Some include fake accounts and catfishing, account hijacking, grooming and manipulation, sextortion scams, and now AI can even be used to reach out to you in deep fakes.
Yeah, and we're going to get into each of those a little bit more in depth just so that you fully understand it. And then we're going to talk about some situations from people that we know personally that have experienced this because it's really becoming quite a large problem. So fake accounts and catfishing, it's basically when predators create fake teen profiles, they steal photos, they use AI generated faces, or, they hack real accounts. And they mimic like slang, emojis, and interests to try to blend in so that they become, they feel more real to you. Mm-hmm. One of the other ones is like account hijacking. This is happening a lot. So they're hacking into real accounts. This actually happened to someone I know that's 12. And they have mutual friends, and they either gain trust that way, or you think you're talking to a friend of yours or an acquaintance, and it's not really them because their account got hijacked.
Yeah, and then they start the grooming and manipulation. They will build trust with you. They will talk to you like you're their friend, compliment you, share struggles that you both may have. Then they will start to isolate you. They will try to get you to not tell other people for different reasons, usually still trying to keep that friendship, but making up reasons that they don't want you to tell other people. And then they'll start asking for personal info or photos or to meet up.
I think that's probably one of the most common issues that we're seeing. And we'll go into that a little bit more, but the exploitation is the common denominator that all predators are using to really control people once they, kind of reel them in that way. So, Okay, there's also, and this kind of goes into the exploitation, the sextortion scams where predators request or trick teens into sending them explicit photos, which for those of you that don't know, that means like nude photos or photos that are very compromising. Then they use those photos to blackmail them. They start to threaten to expose the photos unless you or your friend or someone sends money or pays money. And this is a real issue. So very quickly, I knew this happening personally to someone where they thought they were sending photos to a girl. This was a boy that this happened to a girl that they thought they knew, and it was a predator. They started using that to say they're going to expose them, and they started threatening him to send them money. And so he started to send them money through his dad's credit card. And he knew that he would have time to explain it before his dad got his credit card statement. And what happened was they kept requesting more and more money. And it got to the point where he almost killed himself. And there was a gentleman that went into his school to speak about this, and he confided in him. And they got authorities involved and ended up catching the guy and, saving this kid from that. But that's what they're doing. So one of the things that we're really going to, stress or emphasize as we go through this more is just don't send explicit photos ever, 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 ever. Those could be used against you for so long. It could be, predators. It could be someone at school that if you upset them, they start exposing those to the school. So number one rule to online communication is do not ever send explicit photos ever, because you don't know what will happen with those. So I just really needed to stress that because I hear so many stories where these photos are being used against people. So,
yeah, even in a text message or Snapchat or anything like that, you don't want to because it's going to be used against you eventually, unfortunately.
Yeah. And, no matter, right. No matter how much you like someone or if you're in a relationship with them, like that just should be a non-negotiable, a boundary. Like I will never send explicit photos to anyone, period. Right. So that's a huge one.
So let's talk about the warning signs that we should watch for. If you're talking to someone and they start to avoid your phone calls, if they are pressuring you to keep the conversation secret, don't tell your mom, don't tell dad, don't tell a friend or any type of guardian. If they are very flirty very quickly, that could be a red flag. If they get angry or try to guilt trip you into when you don't respond, if they start requesting pictures, money, any type of personal details, don't give it.
Yeah. And some of you may have heard of the group that goes into schools. They're called the Stop Trafficking Project. I'm involved in that organization. And what they do is they go into schools and they educate both, administrators, teachers, and then they also educate students in separate meetings or assemblies. And through my time with the Stop Trafficking Project, I have heard every time they go to a school, there's anywhere from 10 to 75 kids who come up and have a story of something like this happening. And unfortunately, there's been some very disturbing stories where, kids get wrapped into sexual things that they can't get out of because these predators begin to threaten that they're going to, kill someone in their family or kill their dog. And so I will spare you all from some of the gory details, but if any of you have ever been in one of these assemblies, you've heard some of them. But it's just, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to just be aware of this. If you do fall into this trap and they threaten to kill someone, that is when you should immediately confide into a school counselor, a teacher. You can even reach out to Meg and I, because that's when authorities need to get involved before it gets any worse. But please don't ever believe them when they say that something bad like that could happen. That's when you really need to confide in an adult, a trusted adult who can help you through that situation. I know that the Sex Trafficking Project has been through a lot of schools here in Kansas City and across Missouri and Kansas, and I know they're expanding. But, if you all have questions on a deeper level, or if you get yourself in this situation and you don't know what to do or where to turn or, how to get out of it, honestly, feel free to reach out to one of us or, reach out to a teacher or a school counselor. It's just going to be super important, or even your parent or caregiver. So
let's share some ways that we can protect ourselves when we are online or using any type of devices like that. Let's pause and verify. If something seems off, then it probably is. So make sure, like Mama T said, tell an adult, tell a teacher, tell a counselor, tell anyone that you truly can trust so they can help you. Don't share explicit content, even if it's someone you trust, in any way, shape, or form. And that goes back to the nude photos or any type of photo that shows something you would not want to have shown to someone else. Maybe even tighten privacy settings when you lock down friend requests and DMs. That can be a way to, kind of keep those people out. If you get a request from someone that you already know and are already friends with, then text and confirm that it's them. If they say no, then block them. And then report and block anything that doesn't seem real or safe.
I think it's super important to become so diligent in how you handle conversations online now, because this is happening every single day, multiple times a day. Like I said, every school that the Stop Trafficking Project has visited, and it's been a lot, there have been lines of kids after these assemblies wanting to talk to Russ, the executive director, about like their experiences or someone they know that's experienced this. It's becoming a real safety issue for everyone that's online. And as Meg said, just make sure you verify. If something seems off, call your friend, call someone, that you think you're talking to, and just confirm that it's them. And it's easy as a teenager and young adult to want to have a ton of online friends or a ton of followers, but keep in mind that that opens you up to higher risk of running into a predator. So just be careful who you meet online, even if they say, oh yeah, I'm a new kid at your school, or I go to a different school in your community. And the other thing to be super careful with is if you do meet someone online and they do claim to be your age and they do want to meet up, always inform someone, always meet in a public place. I would personally say don't meet them unless you have a parent accompany you or an older sibling or something to make sure that you're safe, because so many times these predators talk teenagers into meeting them, thinking that they're, someone their age. And that's when things can really turn bad, real bad.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into any great specifics because it's just devastating, some of the stories. But, after spending over a year with the Stop Trafficking Project, I've heard so many stories, and I'm just super passionate about informing you guys. Meg and I are both, and, just warning you about these online predators. And we just want you to know that it's not your fault if someone targets you. You do come in contact with a predator that's manipulating you. Just know it's not your fault. And we just encourage you that if something feels wrong, speak up, because silence protects the predator. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't protect your friends or other people online that they could be targeting. And there are so many resources out there. We will put them up on our website and our social media. But like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there's an organization called Stop Sextortion Helpline. It's a helpline that you can call. There's local police, your school, counselors. There's Meg and I, and the Stop Trafficking Project, which is Kansas City based. You can reach out to any of those. And again, we'll put it on our website and online because it's so important for you to have those resources. And truly, even if you're into something like this right now and people are threatening you or whatever the case is, just know it is time to reach out and inform someone, and don't be embarrassed and don't be ashamed and don't be scared, because this can be stopped, and it has saved lives. Like kids who've reached out for help have saved their own life. If they hear of this happening to a friend or someone at school, it's saved their life. So it really is just super important to be aware of this, to be diligent, and not to fall in the trap. But if you do, and if you are currently, it's not your fault. So just get the help. Yeah. We really want to encourage that. So,
yeah. And I think it's also important to note that this doesn't just happen on social media, right? Or Snapchat, or it can also happen on like Roblox, gaming type things, anywhere there's like a chat. So Xbox, where you chat with other friends, or PlayStations, any type of game where there's like a chat feature or messaging feature or anything like that, people can pretend to be someone that they're not, or they can hijack other friends' accounts. So if you don't think that it's them or anything seems fishy, you need to contact a caregiver or guardian or parent or anyone that you can trust.
Yes. And that's such a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is a common issue as well, is we're hearing through the Stop Trafficking Project, we're hearing about a lot of kids that are coming into contact with predators through these gaming systems. And if your account gets hijacked, you need to inform an adult, because what these predators are doing is they very well could be using your account to reach your friends or people in your school or community thinking that it's you. And so this happened to one of our granddaughters. She's in middle school and her account got stolen and she didn't think anything of it. And I was having this conversation with her about these same, situations and topics. And she was like, oh my gosh, this happened. My account got hacked and I didn't think anything of it. So I just created a new account. You need to inform an adult, because your account could be used by a predator. So just make sure you're aware of that as well.
Yeah. So just remember, the internet can connect us. There are positives to it, but it also opens the door to danger. We need to stay aware by talking openly, watch out for each other, and don't just keep this to yourself. Please send to friends, siblings, teammates, parents, and caregivers so that our safety can grow stronger when we stand together. And join us next time on The Matriarchs for our episode on reputation and why it matters more than you think.